to the Conez and Dough Show Fitness Hour with all the hot bro tips on getting fuck buff. First, you're gonna need to weigh your dick on a hot day. You're gonna need 3 times that weight in meat protein. Each serve of vegetables should be the same size as your ball bag. And you should never eat more carbs than you can fit inside your own asshole.
Welcome back to the Conez and Dough Show, and before
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, and I guess I just want to get straight off the bat is to address the allegations from the Australian Consumer Corruption Commission. We have not taken any money from the Illuminati, despite what they say, despite the allegations. We're completely independent, and they're just a few gifts. We declared them. So, you know, these allegations, there's not much in it. Right, that's just what I wanted to clear up. How are you, Doe?
Fresh. How you been? Do you have a good New Year's?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad, actually.
We're just chilling, or?
Yeah, just chilling. On a side note, it makes my parents crazy saying New Year's, apparently.
New Year's
New
Eve.
Year's. This is what I try and tell them, right? They're like, oh, what does it mean, New Year's Eve or New Year's Day? Rah, 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 rah. But it's just the period of New Year's, I think. I think it's like a word like y'all or use. It's not like...
Yeah, it is a bit of a mash word.
It's not grammatically correct, but like yous guys do this or y'all do that. It's like just a plural you. So in answer to your question, I had a pretty good New Year's.
Nice. I was skating home on New Year's after being at my mate's place, and it was about 8 in the morning, just coming through the main part of Manly, and I'd been skating for a couple of hours or whatever. I was stinky and just hadn't slept and was kind of like in the mood, like, oh, I'm going home. And
what time was it? 8 in the morning?
Yeah, and I totally gimped this opportunity I had so hard. If it was a Craigslist thing, I guess I'd put it on misconnections,
but she managed to escape you and run away, or what?
I was squatting on my skateboard coming on the gentle, like, downhill into Manly, right? And I'm, like, sit skating, like, for a decent, like, 100 metres. And I had headphones on blaring. Like I was saying, it was at the end of basically a marathon, so I'm pretty much Martin Lawrence at this point, like dehydrated and jogging through the streets saying insane shit. But And I noticed that someone yelled out to me or something, and I turned around, and it was these 2 girls. One was this quite cute-looking little hot blonde girl, and her mate that looked like her cock blocker friend or something. No offense, if I had a place I would have invited them both back in an instant, but I just wasn't in the right frame of mind for it. And she's like, oh, can I have a go of your skateboard? And I'm like, oh yeah. Gave her a go of my skateboard, rolling into Manly, and then after not long she's like, okay, cool, and that was done. I'm like, oh, sort of exchanging niceties, like, what did you do last night and all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
And then they're like, oh, I'm going to walk on the other side of the street now, like on the beach or whatever, because we're on the harbour front, and there's like, you know, the beach side.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, cool, have a good one, see ya, and skated up the street. And about 200 metres up the street, I was just like, oh, fuck, like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I at least should have asked this girl for a number, so...
Yeah, it's like that feeling when I took...
She looked like she was in the same state I was, though, so...
It's like that feeling when I took a girl to see Downfall, that Hitler movie, on a first date once. That's true, and so it's like, afterwards, just like, why was I thinking that? But I enjoyed it.
I was like, oh, you're going home? I'm going home too. Cool, let's both go home. Woo, see ya.
Well, you got to get in the right frame of mind.
Oh, dude, I was retarded, yeah. But the thing was, if I hadn't got into that frame of mind and been so retarded on New Year's Eve, I wouldn't have been going home at that time. So I got to suck it up and learn how to deal with the really gnarly, the gnarly shit.
Well,
when you're in a fucked up mental state, you still got to have that shit on.
You just got to remember about women is that they're like snakes. They're more scared of you than you are of them, right? And also they're fucking like slippery.
Well, that's why I thought it was fucking glorious as well, because it's like the first day of the year. What a way to bring in the new year of like getting hailed on the side of a road like a taxi while I'm riding my skateboard by a couple of cute young girls.
Maybe this is going to be some Sleepless in Seattle shit, and she'll hear this podcast.
I think it's more just an omen for the year that's coming for me, really. I'm not selecting anyone in particular, but you know, if you want to hail me on the side of the street, girls, give it a go. I might pull over for you.
Yeah, it's the wrong kind of board on an ass, I guess, huh? But okay, well that was good. Well,
I think I honestly probably fucked it up with my personal interplay, just being like so ignorant to the situation that was going on.
I thought you were about to say I thought I fucked up with my personality. No. So if you're listening, lady, Doe is a lovely guy and shit. You just got to strike while the iron is hot, you know.
Yeah, I'll date you for a week for sure. It could lead to a month or a year.
Yeah, but that's sexual politics. It's tricky. It's a tricky issue, I suppose.
So that was kind of gnarly. But
yeah.
The other, just because that reminded me of another situation, went and saw Lagwagon pretty recently, like
Excellent.
a month.
A mutual favourite band of ours.
Yeah, a month or 6 weeks ago, whatever it was, and I was walking through the city with another friend of mine, Paul, and we were walking up George Street from Circular Quay because we got there early enough to be like, I think we're going to make the main band and not have to rush up there.
Mm-hmm.
So we're walking up George Street from Circular Quay, got about maybe half, 3/4 of the way up to the metro, and was crossing a street at the lights as the lights changed, like it gave us the green man to walk and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And as we started crossing, I noticed this other girl crossing at the same intersection, which was just like 4 lanes, not very long, and within that crossing, like we were like looking at each other, and I looked at her, and then she was looking, like checking me out when I looked at her. Then she looked up and looked at me. But by the time she started looking up and I noticed that I'd started looking down, checking her out, right? And it was just like, oh, and then we both looked at each other and it was like, oh, like she was blushing and I was probably laughing on the inside. And then I looked to my mate on the left and I'm like, oh man, me and that girl just eye-raped the shit out of each other. And he's like, yeah, it looked like you needed a cigarette. So that was pretty good effort as well. But
isn't rape non-consensual though? This sounds like it was consensual.
Yeah, I guess it was not the correct word, but so you know what I'm saying.
My question, if we're getting existential about it,
we violated each other with our eyes.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. No, I get that feeling every time I walk past the playground. But but with regards to this particular situation, what governs that moment in time? The sliding doors type, that little moment between strangers. Is it some sort of universal consciousness? And if so, why does it make it so hard?
I think I would have been able to do something. It's just the situations that yeah, I get what you're saying. It keeps popping up in these difficult situations so that you have to either stop what you're doing to harness that fucking moment, or you're never going to do it.
Well, Hitler called it the triumph of the will, and I think that's what, without putting too fine a point on it, without all the genocide and stuff, it's about that will in that moment. Otherwise, you're... I heard a quote once which says, "All man is a bubble and all the world a storm." And so, is it that verse, do we make our own destinies? Would you talk to Gwyneth Paltrow before those doors shut on the train, But I guess Craigslist sorts that out with missed connections and shit, right?
Yeah. I'm living in the moment more every day.
Excellent, that's good.
It's fucking sweet.
Yeah, okay, that's good, but...
in that frame of mind, though, do you reckon any gig will ever compare to the Bataclan for the Eagles of Death Metal?
For that band?
Like, how NoFX in Backstage Passport, they kind of chase third world type gigs.
Yep.
For that feeling of that raw when they were coming up and everything was fucked.
But then other people have peaks, like Queen at Wembley or whatever, or
But now that they've had this fucked up thing that's just like so... It's horrific, but it's like, it must have been such a fucked up, like, adrenaline rush, and it's like, it's the most fucked up thing ever.
Totally, but I don't know, but they were all sort of probably hipsters, and they were probably looking around afterwards like, this place is dead, man. Like...
But yeah, I don't know that any gigs are ever going to come close to that.
Come close to that for them. You reckon they peaked in their life like that kid that had the party or whatever, Corey Worthington? They peaked... Well,
I'm not really sure about it. I was saying it to be borderline offensive and all fucked up and funny, but at the same time, if you think about it, it's like, fuck, it could actually be this weird conundrum that no gig's ever going to be as exciting as that one again.
Well, yeah, I know it was a bit, but I'm in a philosophical frame of mind, I guess, today, and like it makes me wonder. Like, the one that always gets into my head, if you haven't seen it, go type in like Queen Under Pressure live Wembley. It's one where Freddie Mercury
Yeah,
has
it's
a yellow jacket, and he starts the crowd before. And
Yeah,
there's 100,000 people, and he's like a musical dictator, basically, just telling what to do. And then at the end they get it wrong, and he's like, "Fuck you!" And goes straight into it. It's like the coolest shit I've ever seen. It's the best, like one of the best rock star things. So,
yeah, check the shit out of that.
How would you fucking live a normal life, apart from that, being her or like, Peter Andre or whatever?
I guess just being a pincushion for the boys.
Freddie Mercury.
You got to keep pushing the envelope.
Yeah.
Or breaching it.
Push the envelope, find out what the test results came back as. Well, speaking of mortality, I guess I heard, I like overhearing things, as we all do. We sort of like eavesdropping a bit. And, I live in terraced housings, and my window was open the other day, and you could hear the neighbours next door to us, right? And you just overhear. I love a little out of
Was it rough?
Out
or
of
was
context.
it loving?
Well, it's funny you should mention that the first one. Okay, this is the exact quote, and it's got a pause in that, so I'll leave that in there too, okay? Alright, just let me bring up. "It's my fucking dog. I'm gonna bury him." Like that was it out of context. On the phone. That's what I go in the toilet, start taking a slash, and just hear a guy on the phone, like right next door. "It's my fucking dog. I'm gonna bury it." Bury him, probably. He probably wasn't calling it.
I took it literal when you first said it, but then it didn't take long for me to start going literally.
As in like what?
That he had to dig a hole and bury his dog.
Yeah.
And then afterwards I'm like, no, he's probably just talking about
that. I had to bury a son, yeah.
Talking about his dick again.
Yeah.
It's my dog, I'm gonna fucking bury it, cunt, I don't care if it gets spots on it. I already called it Spot.
It's Spot the dog. Wrote a fucking book about it. But there was a third part to it, actually. I think it was, "It's my fucking dog. ... I'm gonna bury it," and then like a longer pause. Right? But yeah.
I think it was about his dick.
Burying his dog. Yeah, burying. So it's called Burying the Dog, right? And that's for sexual intercourse?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a new one for everyone.
So burying the dog. Okay, there's another animal involved there, but we don't need to get too vulgar about it. It doesn't really make sense when you talk about that either. So yeah, but you had a good New Year's, I think, was the result of this. You got home safe and sound?
Yeah, it was good, man. It's good. I was wearing this this white shirt with it's like a massive gold weed leaf with a skull in the middle of it, sort of like a skull and a weed leaf instead of crossbones.
Alright, okay.
And when I was walking home, I forgot I had it on, and then some cops in a car were giving me a bit of a long gaze, and then I was like, oh yeah. It was alright. I stopped jaywalking when I saw him. I was like, oh yeah, that's cool.
I had an encounter with the cops the other day, and I was looking for change at the side of my house, and where I live, it's sort of like a very mixed area, but like we live in a decent terrace, and not fantastic, but there's big public housing estates opposite, and there's free parking out there. I had my car parked there, and I was out late at night and just looking for change, right, just down the bottom, because I needed it for something or whatever. And after a little bit, I had the door open with my legs sticking out, and I hear just a car pull up next to me and look idly over, and I'm like, okay, it's the cops or whatever. And this is like a Waterloo kind of area for people know Sydney. So he comes up and he's like, "You right, mate?" And I'm like, yeah, I'm just looking for change or whatever. And he's like, "What's the number plate of your car?" So I say what it is, like SEXYBOI. And and he's like, "Oh, okay, sorry, we just had a few calls about like car break-ins and stuff." And I was sort of focusing. I didn't even really get up and look him at the face, because as soon as it pulled up and I saw it was a cop, I was sort of like, I'm in the right. And as loathsome as I am willing to admit it, that was some pretty classic sort of middle-class white privilege there. But in a neighbourhood where I'm sure the cops can be quite cunts and shit, I can get away with sort of like, looking a bit sus at night in the car, like the cops come up and like I don't even bother looking at them, and they're still sort of friendly. Anyway, I just thought it was interesting, so...
Yeah, it's weird. Right outside your place too.
Yeah, right outside my place and stuff and shit.
Yeah, it would have been fine in the end, but it was kind of cool that you gave him. Oh, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Sorry, it wasn't an amazing story, but we'll cut it out. If that's still in here, it went poorly.
I was chilling with my friend Luke the other day, and he was like, "How are you going to get a girl with a password on your phone?" Mm-hmm. And I was like, I guess it's a pretty good point, but fuck.
I don't have one on my phone. It's because I just text her all the bad shit anyway. But so what's the implication? What he's saying there is...
I don't know, he was acting like I'm sketchy because I've got a key code on my phone, but I think it's more because I'm a gimp and I would be scared of leaving my phone somewhere rather than trying to stop anyone looking at my shit.
Sort of like...
I'll show you my dick.
You're showing a dick. It's sort of like, I don't know, I was just reminded of in Silicon Valley, like Russ Hamilton coming in and being like, this guy fucks. Like about you, that's how he's thinking about it. But I don't know, what do you keep on your phone?
I don't know, it's my email and messages and shit. No, it doesn't matter at all, that's what I mean. I thought it was a fucked up comment for him to make because I never even thought of it that way, and I was like, I guess you got half a point.
Half a point, how are you going to get a girl without a password on your phone?
No, how are you going to go to girl with a password?
Oh, with a okay.
Yeah, like you sketchy can.
Okay, as if you are sketchy. Well, fucking, I mean, treat them mean, keep them keen, I guess. But
you want access to the phone? Oh.
Yeah. Act shady.
You're gonna have to earn it.
Yeah, act a bit shady, get the bit of gravy. You know. Hide the secrets, act like Seacrest.
Another one of his epic stories he was telling me lately as well was a friend of his has been buying kids meals at this local snack shop for like 30 years, right?
Alright.
And the people at the store, like, I think he was either short on money or something, and they finally called him on it, and they're like, look mate, it's a kids meal, right? And he was like, I've been buying them since I was a kid. Like, using it as this cool excuse to keep buying kids meals. They're like, yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, use that in the movies and shit. Like, I want a child ticket and then arc up when they go into question. That's pretty cool. I like it. Fuck. Yeah, I guess so. Are those kids' meals normally... I always wonder when I see them in pubs and shit, it's like, get a few nuggets and fries and it's a kid's meal, and when I've been a bit skint, $6 looks better than like 13, so can you just go in and get them?
I think you can still get Happy Meals, yeah, because parents would pick them up to take away and all that kind of shit. It'd be funny if you go in and eat in and get Happy Meal and shit.
Yeah.
You could probably still do it, because all these adults would want those toys and shit anyway, like... I think Macca's is a whole different kettle of fish, mate.
I heard the other day, a whole different kettle of fish. There's sort of one of these sort of queer progressive academics, right? Who's like, I'm against gender roles.
Yeah.
And she tweeted, she's got a big following, I forget her name, Roxanne Gay, that's it. She tweeted like, I can't believe this, I was just at Macca's. Or McDonald's or whatever, and I asked for a Happy Meal, and the cashier said like, boy or girl? These are the gender binaries that we need to like eliminate and shit like that, right? And then luckily some other people called her out being like, you're on the side of the oppressed, but you're this like well-paid celebrity academic who's just calling out someone getting paid like $6 an hour kind of thing.
And asking you which version of the toy you want, what your child associates as.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so boy or girl version, wrong, out the door.
Yeah, I love it when they fuck that shit up hard.
In Sweden, apparently, they've tried to change. They've got a masculine word and a feminine word and use it for stuff. And the push by the progressives there, progressive feminists, is to just use one word for all of it. So, and it's like their language suits themselves to that. But, as far as I'm concerned, James Bond's always going to be a white man.
Is Hollywood going to say different soon, or?
Yeah, who can we get us that? Maybe
get Denzel.
I think Nicki Minaj, maybe. That sort of shit. Denzel's a bit old, I think, to play Bond and shit.
Yeah.
How about the guy from the new Star Wars movie?
Yeah. I don't know if he has the, I don't know. Yeah, maybe he's got that kind of cheese to him.
Yeah, he's pretty
I was thinking, he's going to be cool, but then I was trying to think of James Bond. I'm like, it's cheesy as fuck anyway, so yeah, it probably goes, yeah.
He's meant to be super dark and haunted these days, though, as well, too. It's like, I'm more serious, but Daniel Craig only really has this one Zoolander face, too, but yeah, I was going to ask your opinion on Star Wars, but sorry if you're in the middle of something there. If not, I'd like to know what you thought of the new one.
I'm both ways about it. I don't want to nerd out too hard on here, but...
No, it's a big movie. I wanted to chat about it, so...
I liked it. If it was like a standalone movie and it didn't have anything to do with Star Wars, I think I would have quite liked it.
Yeah.
And I sort of do still like it. And as a Star Wars movie even, it looked exactly like, I don't know, you'd think it kind of should, but the way the story and the characters and everything played out felt more like a TV movie than a real movie. And and then it's not even, this next bit's not even from me, it's more from like a George Lucas article I read, and after hearing it I was like, oh yeah, I can see that. And it's like they're just making, it's like a reflection of A New Hope. It's basically A New Hope again, just subbing characters for different things and putting a girl in the main role, and it's just, I don't know, it seems like it's this new TV version that looks epic movie, and then it's like feminized and has all that sort of, all that, you know, fucked up banter going back and forth, sort of like we were saying was in Terminator Genesis.
Yeah, the sassy
and
Joss Whedon dialogue, which was like, a bit of, I guess, in the original.
I don't mind it too much, but then there was like inside jokes back to the old movies and shit, and that was pissing me off because I'm like, what the fuck's the point of that?
It didn't have a consistent tone with it, I think. They were trying to revisit the original one and sort of like reboot it and also introduce new characters and stories for us to care about.
But if you went like scene to scene, I'm sure I'd be like, oh, that opening was epic, and then this bit was wild, that planet that fucking sucks stars up was a cool idea, you know, like it had lots of really good shit to it. But I
got to admit that, like, you know, I'm not a huge like fanboy, but I did sort of like nerd out a little bit. The thing I really liked about the originals was it was when I was into like planes and shit, and the X-Wings and the TIE fighters and all that shit, so I couldn't help myself even when I was like rolling my eyes at the dialogue when they're like and like get out of the X-Wings or like fucking steal a TIE fighter. I actually had like a bit of a nerd smile on my face enjoying that and stuff. But that chick, okay, the problem with her, and I don't want to be too
Daisy Ridley.
Yeah, I don't want to be miso about it, but I was talking to my girlfriend. I think there's a fair point. She mentioned this to me too. Is that there's nothing wrong with having a strong female protagonist, right? As well too. Like we've seen it fucking, you know, in a ton of movies and enjoyed it. But the fact that she's sort of occupying that main protagonist bit, and then also other times she's the damsel in distress sort of bit.
That's a fair point, yeah.
You see what I mean? It's like, so she was Luke Skywalker.
I just sort of generalised and just said the characters were written weakly. But yeah, like...
Well, this is... I think
that's a good point, though, yeah.
It's a structural problem.
That's a good way to point it out.
Because female protagonists are going to be sort of different than male protagonists, even though I know that's a terribly essentialist thing to say these days and stuff, right? Or whatever. But we all know it's true.
It's a sign of the times, mate.
We all know it's true, and it doesn't quite work on our brain. And I wouldn't have necessarily had a problem with... You know, we've seen a billion strong chick characters, and they could have made her, like, you know, and made it convincing, but then she's just fucking...
Playing that devil's advocate, though, I think it could be a reflection of modern, like, women and stuff, in the way that they can just so flippantly turn from that, you know, going hard on you and calling you a piece of shit to the damsel in distress in the next second. Like, I think Bill Burr had a really good bit on it about how, you know, there's no lesbians on the sinking Titanic or some shit like that, you know what I mean? It's like, as soon as the ship's going down, they're all combing their hair and fucking, oh, yes, women and children first, when that suits, you know?
So there's no atheists in foxholes, no lesbians on the Titanic, and no straight guys in prison.
Oh, no feminists on the Titanic or whatever,
yeah.
Not lesbians, feminists.
Sorry, I don't know,
Sorry, lesos.
Yeah. I don't have... This is going to sound really gay, but one time I was watching Super up on SBS, right? And they had this Swedish movie, I forget what it was called, but it was about two, like, 14-year-old lesbian girls at high school, right? It's not what you're thinking and stuff. It's like this super moving thing about them sort of dealing with that sexuality and, like, you know, their parents and stuff. And a really involving movie, and it pretty much had no male characters, and I love it, but... This chick in the new one, she just pissed me off. Fucking hell.
Yeah, True Grit, that girl's pretty good.
True Grit, yeah. That
there's plenty of good ones. Madeline Stowe in 12 Monkeys. Like,
yeah, totally.
Heaps of movies where girls hold a decent character and it's solid the whole time. But yeah, I don't know, I couldn't cop to it. And I think it was because I got honey-dicked by the prequels as well and didn't realise that they weren't as good as I thought they were for like a year. And then this one I went into a bit more broad, like, I'm going to try and accept it for what it is, not watch too much shit, and I still got a little bit disappointed there.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm finally on that point. I don't even want to, like, you know, bring it up, but I think something like that, even if you think about her being that, if you think about how it takes you out of the immersion and stuff, then it's a little bit of that, and that's before we even come to the fact that there's supposedly black people in space. But yeah, I enjoyed it.
I actually quite liked him. Yeah, I didn't mind him.
I enjoyed him more than I thought I would as well too and stuff, so... It was pretty cool, but I got to say I enjoyed parts of it, but it could have sort of also been a Star Trek or an Avengers movie directed by J.J. Abrams.
Totally. Yeah, it's like they gate up Star Wars a bit. It's,
Yeah, a little bit.
it's pretty lame, but at the same time, it's the best one we've had for, 30 years or something, so
Like
everyone's jizzing everywhere. I'm seeing it a million times. It's going to break all the records tomorrow or some shit. It's already gone past Titanic today or yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
I actually saw it out of the fucking drive-in getting blazed. That was pretty cool.
Wicked.
But yeah, so that's Star Wars for you.
Well, yeah. I'm probably going to see it again in 2D because I saw it in 3D. And
has it been intense?
Alright, but
I
it was still alright. But I kind of want to see what's on the rest of the screen because 3D tends to draw your focus to a point.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
It'll be like you're supposed to look here, and I don't know. 2D would probably be a bit better.
They fuck with my eyes a little bit as well too. But that's because I wear glasses like a big dumb nerd or whatever too.
At the same time that I'm like, I don't really like the lead actress.
Mm-hmm.
It could be like this short circuit in my brain that just I can't handle that particular accent. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, it is that accent. It's the Khaleesi from Game of Thrones accent sort of thing.
Yeah, but I don't even know. It was just like it was just wrong, and it was so hardcore over the top. No one else in the galaxy spoke like that and shit. Like,
yeah,
it was just so fucked up. And then I found myself like I watched the first 20 minutes or something, and it was like, oh, this crazy TIE fighter escape from the fucking Star Destroyer flying. It's just blowing my mind.
Yeah.
And then when after a while, and I said this to my brother and his friends after the end of the movie, and I'm not sure if they liked my comment because they were all kind of really enjoying it. And I was like, every time she opened her mouth, it made me want to stab myself in the eardrums. But I think
Well, my girlfriend mentioned the same thing as you. She's like, she's got that Keira Knightley thing where it's like just his big mouth vowel enunciating things. And
come on, R2.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, shut the fuck up. and then it could just be me being mean as well because I got bashed on gas one night, and I think it was by these two English tourists or
when you say bashed on gas, what do you mean?
I'd been out at this cricket dinner, right, in the city, probably when I was about 22, 23.
I've been wanting to hear this, actually.
And we were drinking really, really hard at this Korean barbecue with all the cricket boys. And
nice.
It was also one of the guys' birthday party as well. So to add extra to the fact we were going there, they're like, oh, we'll make a crazy hat night as well. And I ended up wearing a hard hat, right, like a construction worker's hat. Like, yeah, we're doing all this stuff for the night. I think we were in Darling Harbour. And I remember at one point climbing onto there were these shade cloth kind of things that are like suspended like 10, 15 feet up in the air.
Yeah.
I like climbed up on those and was fucking around up on these shade cloths like a complete maniac. And then I think some of our other friends were doing lines of go on the stairs there just in public and shit. Yep. And it was just out of control young boys doing what they do.
Being bad boys, yeah.
And yeah, eventually I got a cab home that night.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, fuck, I wouldn't recommend really going drinking to anyone to major excess. You can find fun moments, but I found myself having a borderline psychotic episode.
It always ends up at that point if you keep going, doesn't it?
Because I got home to Manly and got out of the cab, or I went to get out of the cab I was in and figured I didn't have any money, right? And I'm like, oh shit, I don't have any money.
Sure.
So the cab is like, thinking I'm so fucked. Oh, you got to leave something. So I left him my phone.
Yeah.
And my phone was all smashed and broken and shit already, right?
Yeah.
And then I went and got the money out, came back, paid him, and got my broken phone back.
Sure.
Like if I had any wits about me, I would have just been like, yeah, get the fuck out, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, but I was being nice at this point still, and like,
how much was the fare?
It was probably like $80, $100 I think. Paid him, got my shit back. Started walking home, and then I should have just got the cab because I think it's because I had to get the money out. I should have just got the cab the rest of the way up my street, right? In hindsight.
Yeah, I was wondering why this story.
But when I went back, paid the cab, and got my phone out and stuff, and I'm like, I'll just walk up the street.
At the bottom of the hill,
sort of? A kilometre, probably.
Sure. You know? Not far, nothing much.
Maybe
can happen,
a bit more, but
nothing can happen there.
Befriended these English people within the first few, 50 metres of my walk to the harbour front and shit, and I'm like, probably talking so much shit.
Sorry,
like
what
this
time of
fucking
day was
maniac.
this?
I can't remember this shit properly at all because I pieced it together the next day.
What time of day was it? Just
probably like 2 in the morning or something.
Cool.
You know?
Yep, you befriended the English guys.
Walking along, chatting with them for a while, and then at some point, like a third of the way home, like not even that far, I started looking for my phone in my pockets, which I did get back. And I couldn't find it because I was like, so fucked, just checking just below my belt, like with my hands and stuff, and then probably checking just in the tops of my pockets, and like, thinking to myself in this crazy fucking state, like, all my pockets are empty and shit,
fuck.
and then instantly,
Yeah.
these cunts stole my fucking phone. And I started griefing them, but not even, I'm not really ever, like, there can be moments when I get angry, but I'm not really ever this violent, angry person.
This is why the story amazes me, yeah.
And I'm like, I started just like harassing these people to give me my phone back, right? And I'm like, nah, but seriously, like, I don't mind that you took it or whatever, but you have to give it back because, like, I'm going home and I need my phone to, like, go home. And I'm pretty sure I ranted like this to these people. That's the last thing I remember, is just ranting like a motherfucker, harassing these people for my phone. And it's all in little snippets and shit.
Yeah.
And then the next thing I remember, I opened my eyes and I was, like, on the sidewalk on the way home, and I could see a couple of people up the street, maybe 50 metres or even further, 100 metres or something up the street. And I'm like, trying to figure what's going on. Got up, walked home, still couldn't remember what the fuck happened at this point. Like, walked home, got home, went to bed, woke up in the morning, and then started trying to figure out what the fuck happened the next night.
Piecing it together.
And pulled all my pockets out and shit, and I pulled out this broken phone, and I'm like, oh shit. Like, I just remembered instantly, like, I had a phone. I thought my phone got stolen. I was harassing some people for my phone. And then, like, and then I looked at my hard hat, and I had this massive black scuff mark that was like a couple of inches long on the fucking hard hat, as if I'd either been punched out and then kicked in the fucking head on the ground, or I just harassed them to the point that I just exhausted myself and passed out on the side. Or he probably at that point only had to, like, with one hand push me, and I would have fallen onto the fucking ground, you know, and then probably just gave me a good one in the hard hat for a fucking kicking, you know, like, and I don't fucking blame the guy, man. I was fucking out of control.
Good thing you're wearing that, mate.
What the fuck? But I think maybe that story is the reason that I don't like Daisy Ridley. Because she fucking got that voice, doesn't she?
Oh, so it sort of triggers you and shit, right?
Yeah, and I just hear that fucking voice and I'm like, no, get the fuck out of there. Yeah. I just want to punch you. Oh my god, didn't you kick me in the head?
What if they had stolen your phone and then fucking when you found out about it, they did it and shit?
Oh,
and then they fucking
that's a decent point.
Put it back and they're like, this is a piece of shit.
That's a fair point.
Let's frame this guy.
But I think it was more me being psychotic, because it was like a guy and his girlfriend.
Yeah,
you know.
I know what you mean about that accent link. You know, I find it hard to watch Vinnie Jones.
Hey, I was the bad news that night. I can admit it.
I find it hard to watch Vinnie Jones talk for too long and shit. And yeah, if that had happened to me, so yeah, that's a fair point. But God,
I think it's combination. Yeah.
God, I wish I had a fucking video of that.
Yeah, it would have been fucking funny.
That would have been awesome.
You should have seen me in Darling Harbour earlier.
Yeah?
Fucking scaling shade cloths and being an idiot. I think security or something made me get down.
Yeah. Fuck, that's pretty
probably
cool.
Commando rolled it down and then just dropped off the side.
Yeah.
You think you can do all these good stunts when you're pissed? It's cool.
The alcohol does do that a bit. I remember a good friend, Mr. Coffee and shit, who, you know, before, like, he loves taking photos, and I went out a lot after I started meeting him and shit, and I don't get that drunk and don't do that much or whatever. And seriously, this was like, I just met him but was becoming good friends pretty quickly kind of thing, and we went out to a party, and then the next day and shit, like, there's just a photo of me, like, with the biggest fucking smile on my face from the night before, pouring like a 40 a beer all over the front of a cop car, like, with a massive smile.
You don't remember it at all?
I don't remember it, and I never do that sort of shit. And then there's a video of me fucking puking in the toilet telling Luke to fuck off, so Mr. Coffee, sorry. I'm sure he won't mind. But yeah, the alcohol just sort of fucking, it makes people angry, huh? It angers up the blood.
Yeah, that fucking speed and alcohol.
Yeah, good time.
Can go so long all night, but it just hits that. There's just a wall where blackout drunk meets psychotic idiot.
Yeah.
And it's gnarly. Fortunately, I'm not too much of a gnarly guy, and all I did was harass some people in this pretty gentle way. But if it was some fucking angry dude, imagine what you'd be doing. You'd be jerking off in the street and just kicking cars in.
Totally. The guy that did that Coney video a few years ago, he was arrested I think naked on ice in a street in San Diego, fucking masturbating and shit.
Yeah, it seems like it does make you want to jerk it at some point.
Well, that's why you got to go out and fucking meet more girls at crossings, so you've got something to remember when you come home and jerk off.
Oh, I'm not on ice, but yeah, I get your point.
Sorry if I'm being cunt today. Am I being cunt?
No.
Alright, it's good, yeah.
Well, let's just talk about how I was a cunt. You're allowed to be a cunt.
Alright, cool. Alright. Well,
didn't I say that Eagles of Death Metal are never going to have a fucking gig as good as that one? That's a bit of a cunt thing to say.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Well, I believe we talked about Chad Kroger fucking dissuading the terrorists and shit as well, too. But, we try and look from a different point of view at the Conez do, and that's a good point. Will they ever have a gig? It's like that. It's like fucking when... what's a massive band that's lost their front man or whatever? Like Nirvana and shit kind of thing, They're never going to be Nirvana again. Even if they find some Estonian guy on YouTube that sounds like Kurt Cobain.
I just watched Montage of Heck and Soaked in Bleach recently as well.
What's Montage of Heck is a recent documentary about Nirvana, right? From Home Video.
They both are, really. The second one's got a bit of docudrama footage, like actors portraying them, but it's done way better than you would expect. But watch them in that order as well if you do. Okay. Because Montage of Heck's like pretty legit, just shows everything from the sort of mainstream and just point of view up to his death, and doesn't really say anything about his death. And then Soaked in Bleach is like this fucked up revisiting of Tom Grant's audio recordings of Courtney Love and all this stuff.
Oh, really?
And it doesn't conclusively prove anything bad about Courtney Love in terms of like, oh, she got him killed or murdered or blah blah blah. But even just the way that she talks in this fucking shit, it's just, she was like so out of control, like save the American icon, Tom, and like all these fucking nutcase lines. Like they found apparently they found this note, like there's a backpack she left at her lawyer's house, and then she goes away, right? Kurt's been missing. Lawyer looks in the backpack. There's these two random notes in there. One of them is a handwriting practice sheet with letters on it, and matching letters, trying to do this writing that apparently looks like Kurt's, right? Yeah. And the other one's a piece of paper that says "get arrested," and then she went and got arrested for like drug possession or something, and like got that all through the news. And then when she got out from that, put a call in to the alarm systems company because his body still hadn't been found in the greenhouse yet. Yep. Put a call into the alarm system company as soon as she got out, because it still hadn't been found, to go install an alarm in the greenhouse because there's been all these burglaries and shit lately. So it's just another one of those things that could be this massive coincidence, but like so much fucked up weird shit going on.
I mean,
she's just talking so whack to this investigator guy, and he starts telling her like, look, like I'm going to start looking for the truth, and like, I'm going to do it pro bono, and
she's just being sort of sarcastic and trashy.
Yeah, and she doesn't even really care that he's going to keep going on with it and stuff. And I don't know, it's just, it doesn't prove anything really about her, but I'd still say to watch it because it just gives you a bad feeling.
Yeah. I mean, it's sort of, I imagine it's like when I watched The Doors recently, Jim Morrison, who also died at 27 of a heroin overdose or whatever, he's like, his sort of girl was there in the apartment with him, and I don't know if it happened like this or whatever, but it was like, Jim, he'd gone to take a bath, and then comes out and sort of looks at him and like feels him, and she obviously cares deeply for him. It's not like she killed him at all, but she just looks at him and she's like, oh, Jim, like realizing he's dead, but like, oh, Jim, like this was going to happen eventually. And I doubt Courtney Love even has as much integrity of that. I mean, it obviously was such a crazy sort of bipolar relationship that he could. It's plausible to me that he was about to be
divorcing her, and there was a prenup, so she wasn't going to do very well out of it. And
she only had a couple of good songs.
And apparently, the suicide attempt in Italy wasn't really a suicide attempt. He just like had Rohypnol given to him, and he was drinking, and it fucked up, and he went, So there was just all this weird shit lined up.
Do you reckon she was sort of Munchausen by proxying him. You know, it's that disease where mums make their kids sick so they get attention and shit like that. She was probably doing that to Kurt, like, oh, he OD'd and shit, because that's Courtney
like
Love's...
he's going to divorce me.
As far as I'm concerned, Courtney Love's motivation is continuing attention and the ability...
And the royalties if he dies.
Well, the royalties, yeah, okay, I guess, but she would have got a lot if he'd lived too, but... I mean...
No, because she was prenup and she was fucking getting divorced.
Do you know what record was on his CD player when he died? R.E.M. Shiny Happy People. That song almost makes me want to kill myself though, so that's the plausible explanation. But I mean, I don't know, I was mad into Nirvana when I was young. They were like, my dad showed me, I think I might have even just seen it before Kurt Cobain died, like unplugged on TV.
Yeah,
he'd heard about it and watched it. And I watched it with him and shit, and then I think just got into him just after, or a bit after he died, and fucking he was like the original sort of rock star guy for me. But I guess it's pretty fucked up if you live that kind of life and have that sort of disposition and have that sort of girlfriend too.
Yeah, you should watch the Soaked in Bleach one. It's crazy. Right. But do Montage of Heck first, because it makes them out to be these crazy junkies. So you get to see them both being junkies, and then in Soaked in Bleach, it's more a bit harsh to Courtney. But it's it doesn't prove anything. But like, you should totally watch it. I'm not remembering all the good shit out of it. You know, there's just like bits where you're like, what?
Yeah. I wonder if Courtney did it herself or hired someone to do it.
They've never sued Tom Grant over it as well. You know, like he says all this fucked up shit and like has all these recordings and is like, I've got more recordings that I can release, but you know, I can't do it unless they sue me and all this shit. So he's like, he's in this weird stalemate as well. It's like if he gets made to prove himself, he's got more shit even that he can't use. I don't know. It's fucking weird.
It's sort of weird thinking of it, because it's like, oh, if she did it, let's assume she did it, and it's like escaping justice. But in the same time, in my mind, I'm like, oh, but it's sort of like she got the punishment. Like, I could sort of view Courtney Love's life, having to live as Courtney Love, as being like
punishment enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the, it's like her, it's like Sharon Stone in Casino, going in to get all the clothes from the house and shit kind of thing. Like, just so rich and so like, so just sort of be like, fuck off, Courtney. But you know, it's got a daughter.
But no, fuck, I wish I could remember more bits out of it. There's just some weird shit in bits.
Yeah, it sucks when some of them die young. Jimi Hendrix dying young and Janis Joplin fucking dying young sort of annoys me. Janis Joplin's pretty badass. I listened to one of her records the other day, and she fucking just did mad old fucking drugs to death and shit, and so did Jim Dog. I guess I can talk briefly when we're on music. Is that cool? Like,
yeah, fuck yeah.
My dad's in a band. I might plug him more. He's putting together a band. They play sort of like oldies hits, but a bit of everything and stuff like that. And it's him and another guitarist, and basically they want vocalists or a keyboardist or bassist, and they really want a sort of semi-permanent bassist, because then they can sort of audition singers and keyboardists and stuff like that. So one funny thing, they've got like, what is it, one singer and another guitarist coming up. The singer is into like old blues, like she's this 50-year-old chick, and the other guy's like a mad metalhead and stuff. But this is what you get in amateur sort of bands. But they tried this guy out for a little bit, the bassist, and he heaps like sort of swinging one side to the other, like yeah, like a bit weird and shit. My mum's like, oh, it's a bit weird and shit like that. And you know, they played a bit of an assortment of songs, and someone played an Alanis Morissette. They're like, why don't we do one of those? And they were discussing it on email. Keep in mind, these are like 50-year-old men, right? Okay, over 50 and stuff like that. And the guy wrote back, and he's like, if you think that I'm going to do an Alanis Morissette song, then I've got a Fender Stratocaster I can shove up your rear end. And my dad telling me a bit. My mum's like, it went on for like 500 words, like writing such a massive essay about like why. And then that's it. He left to the band, and I think my dad's like, I don't know how much this will work. And he's like, oh, you can't even go like fight someone face to face and shit kind of thing for like this amateur band. And I'm like, that guy sounds crazy. So sorry, I know nobody knows any of the people in the story. I haven't even met him, but fucking writing this mad long thing about Alanis Morissette, like, it's
maybe some girl with an Alanis Morissette accent kicked him in the head when he was fucked up one day.
Yeah,
I just can't handle her voice.
Hey yo, I'm gonna kick you in the head. But fuck, she's got one hand in her pocket, but another one making a peace sign. I thought, but
so I thought for a little jackass stunt that I could potentially do, I could get sconned with 63 cricket balls.
Yes.
In memory of Phil Hughes, like in a cricket net or something.
I suppose you could. That's your memory?
It is a tribute to him, but it's kind of offensive as well. It's like, fuck you, but it's charity, you know? So
yeah, it is for charity and shit. It's like,
suck
is it worse than Brett Lee fucking doing it to... Who do you do it? Piers Morgan, that presenter.
Smashed him.
Fucking smashing him. And I guess, you know, and if I can mention something briefly for a second on cricket offensiveness, there was... And this isn't funny, but there was a lady called Rosie Batty. She's a domestic violence campaigner. Did you see her son got killed at a sports ground in the cricket bets by a crazy ex-husband? And she's a campaigner, and good luck to her and everything. But I'd heard about it, I'd read about it quite a lot, and only about a week ago I'm like, that's fucked up that her name's Batty.
Yeah, it's fucked, yeah.
I hadn't even thought of that.
Yeah, the whole cricket bat scenario, it's pretty fucked up. God damn, that's dark.
Someone mentioned once that in Britain you can tell someone's sus if they're buying a baseball bat because no one plays baseball in the country. Like cops always look for it and shit on the estates.
I don't know if I mentioned it to you, but I've been dating an anglicised Asian girl.
Okay.
Named Gay Ping.
Yeah.
And she's a loose one.
Fuck. Is she relation to that Burmese chick Ring Large?
I remember this fuck story as well from when I was maybe like 8 years old, maybe 10. I remember because my sister gave me shit about it after I did it as well. We were running around in the Macca's play area after we'd eaten and everything, and for some reason I was just out of nowhere just like fell to my knees and vomited like a mouthful of food on the ground, right? And when I looked up from vomiting on the ground, there was like this 6-year-old girl standing looking at me and had just looked at me vomit. And I was like, and smiled at her, right? And then she freaked out and ran away. And my sister's like, why did you smile at her? It was fucking epic.
And you were like, fuck, I can't believe I didn't get her number.
Story of my life.
It's on, yeah. It's on that notice, actually. It comes back to something as well. It's like when we were looking for places, and I moved around to a few different complexes, and you know how they say that they're child-friendly?
Yeah.
When I go there, none of the kids were friendly to me at all. So, I think they should have laws against that.
You might have to make your own app for that one.
Yeah. I haven't had a confusion like that since I tried to get a job at a primary school because I said I was good at child rearing, and they mentioned all this stuff about teaching them and growing them. So
God damn, maybe you should be a lifeguard.
I smoke too much.
Just at the local pool.
Yeah. An outdoor one maybe, an indoor one I couldn't. You know that indoor pool noise? Like when you dip up and down underneath the water and back up? It's always just splashing water and kids screaming. That and smell of chlorine, but...
Conez, author and kiddie pool lifeguard.
Oh, it's nice to know I've got some writing in my future at least. Well, do you have anything there? Because I got a story I can read you if you like it.
Yeah, only an old thing, so whatever.
Okay, well, I'll mention quickly. This is, I mentioned you, I won't mention his name on the show, but I told you who it was before the show. It's someone we both know. I don't know him well, but you know a bit, okay? Okay, this is from the, where's it from? Sydney Morning Herald, I think. An SBS employee who threatened to kill a police officer hours after the funeral of a murdered New South Wales police employee was given a 24-month good behaviour bond on Tuesday. This guy, 32, was supported in court by a Dateline chief producer as Magistrate Anthony Spence said the social media threat had, quote, no comedic value, absolutely none. Mr. Hogan, said his name, posted to his personal Facebook page, right? He said, quote, I'm going to kill a police officer this morning in the name of Allah. The post was visible by any internet user because he had set his Facebook privacy settings to public. At about 10 a.m. on October 17th, up to 5 police cars and 10 police officers arrived at his home when they were tipped off about the post from his Facebook friends. He pleaded guilty to using a carriage surface to menace, harass, or offend. I know this is long, but it gets funny. Describing the post as, quote, nothing short of stupid or dangerous, police prosecutor Adrian Walsh told Newtown local court that he posted the comments hours after the funeral of murdered police employee Curtis Cheng on Friday, October 16th.
Jesus.
Mr. Cheng was fatally shot in a terror attack on October 2. This guy's lawyer said the post was intended purely as satire, quote, albeit an ill-advised piece of satire, and, quote, had absolutely no shred of seriousness to it, and argued no conviction should be recorded. She said this man was, quote, staunchly atheist and had no connection with Middle Eastern culture and had consumed 10 pints of beer before posting the threat to social media. He was known for, quote, chaser-style comedic enterprises and produced, quote, self-deprecating videos in his spare time, the court heard. But the magistrate sentenced him to a 24-month good behaviour bond. The message needs to be brought home to the public. They simply can't be as reckless as this. So there you go, and that's a picture of him there. But you know, I get sus about these things because, you know, I've liked the good troll every now and then. But
that's yeah.
Here's the satire. How good's this satire? I'm going to kill a police officer this morning in the name of Allah. Like hours after the funeral of a police employee.
But what's the relevance of that? Was there any? Was he even aware of that when he posted it?
Well, the cops, I imagine, they had a big funeral for this guy, and this was just after this guy got killed when the young kid tried to kill him.
I know the one you're talking about.
So the cops are jumpy and shit anyway, right? And he posted.
That's all I think it is. It's just these fucking jumpy cops.
But if they're
so on to getting plastic scimitars off these motherfuckers, and they got all this this surveillance set up on all these people, shouldn't they be able to figure out in a matter of, you know, if it's not minutes, at least a couple of hours, they can figure out this person's not a fucking threat?
But they have
it's pretty fucking
not
obvious.
Really, they have to go check it out. I think it's fair. We're on high. He posted absent no context, right?
Yeah.
So just on his Facebook page, I'm posting this to my wall.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill a police officer this morning in the name of Allah.
Yeah, it's hardcore.
If I was a commissioner, I've said shit worse, but it's generally contextualized.
But there's no context for that kind of behaviour on his page anywhere else or anything, is there? Is it just this completely out of the blue?
I don't know. I hear that he likes chaser styles kind of comedy.
Yeah, so I don't know.
So, no offence to the guy.
I'm not well informed enough. But yeah, I can see why police would go to your house, but I don't think that a conviction should be recorded for trolling.
Well,
but you know, if he was in England, he'd get jail time and shit because they fucking do that for trolling now.
Yeah, I learnt my lesson, I think, luckily, because I like a good troll, was when we used to have massive email threads between people at work, and I'd send a few trolls and a few fake stories, and I was super bored one Friday afternoon and made up a Melbourne Age story about a bomb that had just gone off and kind of killed all these people, just for my own amusement or whatever, and sent it through to heaps of people this will be heaps funny. And some people, there were some girls, and they're mad upset, and someone else dude, don't do that and shit.
Yeah, I'm biased as well, because I knew the party involved in that last story, so as soon as you said the thing, I'm just laughing my ass off, because I know how it would come out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
From this pissed idiot, you know.
10 pints of beer, that's probably it again, huh?
Yeah, but fuck. I don't know, going through with it and then doing all this internet policing and shit, the cops are going to be spread pretty fucking thin if it's all for trolling.
I think it's slim pickings as well too, though, because from what these guys in fucking Paris, they did it all off the grid. They weren't doing shit on the fucking internet and stuff like that. So I mean, you know, it's a complicated issue. From what I hear, these departments obviously have pretty massive budgets now, and they probably do try and do a decent job of trying to, you know, follow stuff, but there's only so much legit stuff you can follow, and there's so much sort of non-serious shit that's easier to follow, I suppose.
Well, it reminds me of this other story that I was going to mention to you just briefly as well. Basically, where I think it sort of relates a bit, where the reaction doesn't match what the intention was.
Sure.
You know, because as much as I do agree with you, yes, the police probably should go around to something like that and check it the fuck out. Once they figure out that it's a drunk idiot and it's a joke, and this person's not affiliated with that religion, not from there, you know, nothing to do with it, they should fucking drop it and be like, okay, and if he's admitted like it's retarded, that's, you know.
Okay, but what if we take, on his point of view, I do that. But
do you need to fine him? What do you need to do?
24-month good behaviour bond. But think of it this way: they say that not only does justice need to be done, but justice needs to be seen to be done. So I agree with you. He's not really culpable for shit, but okay, it's a weird logic web. But they send out like 10 cop cars or whatever to this guy here. Any kind of, as policy, as anyone who writes something similar, they'll do that up. Yeah. If there's a deterrent to fucking just posting that sort of jokey stuff, and it saves that stuff in the future, then that could be good. And to be perfectly honest, I think if it was funny, I would be more on your side, but it just wasn't funny enough.
Yeah, it's not funny.
It was too straight up.
It's more, it's full on trolling. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know it in and out enough, but yes, I sort of side with you, but I still reckon if there's a conviction and all this shit and you get fucked forever for some little trolly thing, the reaction is a bit over the top.
Yeah, okay, because he's not going to be able to get into America and shit with that sort of stuff, right? Yeah. They're like, who's this fucking cunt?
Oh, he's a fucking menace. He was making terrorist threats and all this shit. Like, oh, fuck.
Like raid or whatever.
Like, you're basically a cyber rapist.
Yeah. I've said some pretty bad stuff online and shit kind of thing. Yeah. I've done some pretty bad stuff online as well, but that didn't...
I've done it as well, but they were sitting in the same room, so does that make it better or worse? I don't know.
I mean, yeah. But I don't really feel bad in terms...
And it wasn't from a fake account, it was me doing it.
I don't really feel bad in terms of doing it fucking from resources, but like, when I troll a progressive forum with a fake account as if I'm a chick and saying that they're misogynist for not letting me carry around a gun because they support gun control. That's not really wasting anyone's time but all of ours. But, cops have donuts to eat and shit.
I don't mind you wasting the time of people that need their time to be wasted.
I don't know, the whole thing's... I've gone off it. I've spent way less time. I used to get sucked into it, but it's just... It's.
But I don't know, is that a deterrent? Like, it is a deterrent, 10 cop cars arriving at your house, but is it also a waste of police resources? Like,
it is, but the deterrent might avoid them being wasted again in the future. Yeah.
But anyway,
so I pronounce him... Okay, so let's say that... Let's give him a fine, but not record a conviction.
Yeah, if they can do that, that'd be cool.
Okay. All right. What, $800 maybe?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. What is it? A month's pay or something?
Yeah, something like that. And stay away from Facebook.
And don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs. Don't drink beer and fucking post shit on Facebook.
Legalize marijuana. Because then you wouldn't be having these problems.
That's true.
You'd be like, oh, they should like put more flowers on that police officer's casket to make it prettier. It would have come out nice. Or maybe that's mushrooms or something.
Fucking...
This cricket player, right?
Alright, okay.
Chris Gale from the West Indies was on TV yesterday. And I don't know, it's another one that could go either way. He basically was hitting on this journalist when she did the interview. I'll show you it.
Yeah, I've read about this, so I have opinions and such, but I haven't actually seen the video. And alright, okay. Okay.
So yeah, we just watched the thing. We might snip that little bit out. So yeah. So Chris Gale was just talking to this what would she be, inside of the ground interviewer?
No, okay. This is okay. What changes it from what I heard is apparently she is a quite respected sports reporter.
Yeah.
Go on.
But he is still a man.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And if he is this renowned ladies' man and he's always just macking on chicks, wouldn't you just have some snappy line to come back with him rather than standing there all butthurt about it and then fucking confused about what you're going to say and then being so dry and you go, like, oh, hamstring injury, blah, blah, blah. Wouldn't you actually, like, banter with him and be like, shut up, like, whatever, I got a boyfriend. Or, like, actually... just playing the fucking butthurt female fucking feminist thing just pissed me off a bit. Right. I know he's being a cocksucker, like, to her face, but the fact that we can't all just be grown-ups and fucking play around a bit. He's testing the water. If she was fucking gagging for the dick right, she would have loved that shit as soon as you fucking said it. Because she's not, she may have a boyfriend, she could be a dyke. There's a whole list of reasons why she may take herself so fucking seriously as this sports journalist that the idea of that is like, oh, it's shocking there and stuff. But like, if a dude was doing it, and then, you know, think about it the other way, like, it'd get blown off, or it'd be like, ha, and just keep going.
Yeah.
She made the big deal about it, you know?
Okay, alright. Okay, my point of view. Okay, the actual behaviour, it's like they made out like saying, "Oh, you're blushing, baby." That's normal kind of cocky, flirty talk, right? If this isn't a bar, it's fair enough, right?
Yeah.
It's on TV. She's a professional sports reporter.
Yeah.
She's quite serious about her job, right? Okay, no, fair enough, and I agree. You say like
he's slinging dick 24/7.
Yeah, okay.
24/7. This guy's never not slinging dick.
Okay, but she's like, I'm going to side with the sisters here for a second. She's in difficult position because you say like, why doesn't she just come up something back? First of all, if she buys into it all, she wants to be a serious reporter. She doesn't want to be there as an object of sex and shit, right? So she wants to be that. So fair enough. Second of all, I suppose is.
Sorry. Second point is.
Second of all, if she comes up with something back, she can come across as bitchy or whatever so quickly, sort of thing. So.
Yeah, true. I put that down to bad interviewing, though. If she had the skills, she just would have laughed that shit off. But because she's such a butthurt feminist or whatever the fuck's going on inside her little head, she's like...
Was it her that complained about it or what? Or
maybe some cunt's yelling in her ear, like, don't respond to him, and it's confusing live on air, and I'm not giving her a credit, but I don't know. You can just tell this dude is a fucking
what did she actually do?
Cocky jerk.
What did she do? Did she complain? Who complained? Was it Twitter feminists, or did she complain and she was upset and stuff? And
well, this guy's been, like... asked to make a public apology, which he kind of didn't. He kind of did a sorry, not sorry and shit, which is just as hilarious because that's all it is. This dude wants to fuck all the bitches, right?
Yeah, I know, but
he can't turn it off.
Yeah,
so don't interview him.
Okay, but
get a dude to interview him.
I know. I thought this was
if he's a renowned ladies' man, why are they sending this pretty attractive woman to go interview him? That's like baiting the motherfucker, you know. Like
I thought this was a gentleman's game, you know. I just feel like, to put it, it's Big Bash or whatever, right? So it's sort of
that's entrapment, man.
Yeah,
your big beautiful eyes.
I just feel that, like, obviously, okay, I'm not annoyed at him for doing it, but the article I read said that, like, when the reporter was like, I visited them once after they'd lost. It was 10 a.m. They're around the pool. It looked like a Nelly video clip. They were smoking cigars. That was his word. So he's obviously. He's the big dog, right? He can do what he wants. So, I don't know. I just feel like if he knew and she did have a little bit of respect in the community as a sports thing, then perhaps it would have been the more chivalrous...
I don't think he would have done anything differently. That's what I think. He's just this fucking cocky jerk, and it's like, don't get butthurt about it, because some girls actually dig it, you know?
Well, you know, yeah. People are looking at it from that angle, but...
if you're a dude, how are you ever supposed to know if the girl you want to flirt with wants you to flirt with her? You don't. You just have to try it out, and if it doesn't work, sometimes the bitch just shuts up on mic, you know, and goes, "Oh shit, what am I supposed to say?" But sometimes they're like, "Oh," and then she'll be like, "Oh, that's kind of nice. I'll speak to you later."
It's a weird angle that everyone's taken because I'm watching it and I'm like, "What? When did black guys start being allowed to speak to white women?" You know? But I guess since the Windies beat the Brits or whatever pretty convincingly, there's a good documentary about that, by the way. I forget what it's called. Fuck, I watched it, but. I don't know. I actually feel I don't feel sympathy with the stupid outrage bubble that arises out of everything these days.
Yeah, I think I'm just outraged at the outrage. I'm not really condoning his behaviour, but I'm just saying I understand it, and there's no reason to get so shitty about stuff that makes no fucking difference.
I see what you mean, and obviously, let's be honest. There's a sort of sense of the thing that, like, well, you know, if there's times that kind of
if it keeps going that direction.
If there's times that like a woman has been sort of like bitchy or whatever to you, they'd be like, "Oh, I wish I could go complain about this to the media and get a bunch of sympathy and stuff." But but I don't know. What does it matter? Fuck it. It doesn't even really
matter at all. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I kind of, in the end of it, I guess I will side with her because I've been calling him a cocky jerk the whole time. He's being a dick, but. You know, from that side, it's like, how are you supposed to ever know? You don't ever know. You just fucking test it out, and then you either get slapped in the face or you get the kiss, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree. I just think that, like, the kids are interested in the cricket, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, Gail should choose a new fucking way to make money. Like,
who's an example of sort of... Okay, that's sort of, let's say, a badly behaved sports star. Let's say Tiger Woods, that sort of thing. Who would you say is the exemplary sportsman? Out of any discipline and field, who is like sort of not in terms of like, oh, I'm the biggest, baddest dog, but sort of just like the classiest, the most respected. It's hard to say. Like Roger Federer probably is, but I don't really care that much.
Yeah, neither. Yeah, probably him, I guess. I was going to say some fighters, but they're not. It's not mainstream enough for everyone yet to name fighters.
Yeah. It's not really. I guess they're all.
Yeah, Federer's probably the nicest, I guess.
Yeah, Jordan had a gambling addiction. Thorpe's gay. They all end up lying to us in the end. Yeah, I don't know. Donald Bradman was pretty cool, I guess. Let's stick with him. So yeah,
I heard it was a prick.
Yeah, he probably was a bit of a prick actually and stuff. I wonder how he would have reacted it. But either way, in fairness to that chick, apparently she is a good sports reporter who actually knows her stuff. Yeah. So yeah, that's what happens when you threaten the cops and fucking flirt live on air, I suppose. You know, I guess that's just the way it is. And to try and bring it back around to something that's, you know, well, some learned voices on the issue and stuff like that. I thought we could end with a couple of quotes here. One of them that I thought was interesting. It's by G.K. Chesterton, and he's talking about utopias. You know how people like. You know, it's good to imagine that there's perfect worlds and we can all be better and stuff like that, but, you know, it's important to be a little bit skeptical of it. And he says, the weakness of all utopias is this, that they take the greatest difficulty of man and assume it to be overcome, and then give an elaborate account of overcoming the smaller ones. They first assume that no man will want more than his share, and then are very ingenious in explaining whether his share will be delivered by car or balloon. And I think that sort of... I guess this other quote sort of like, you know, follows up as well. This is V.S. Naipaul, a Nobel-winning author, and he says, the world is what it is. Men who are nothing, who allow themselves to become nothing, have no place in it. And I guess that's what Chris Gale was doing when he talked to that reporter and stuff. You know, I suppose it's just about action.
Make that shit happen.
Make that shit happen and stuff. And
thanks for coming back to us, all our listeners. We'll try and pump up some new ones for the new year, get this weekly back on. Sorry it's been a little time off, and
sure,
apologies for the disgusting rattling if it makes it through the noise filter this week. It's my graphics card on my computer has finally shit the bed after 7 years, and I got a new one that should get here in a couple of days, and we should be back to some good fucking fan rattle podcast.
We're having brand new technology. We're going to have like fucking Tupac's hologram. We'll be able to deliver this fucking podcast to you and everything.
Send your emails to Conez and Doe.
Yeah, we never mentioned that, do we? That's what we need to do. Conez and Doe at gmail.com.
That's it. CONEZANDDOH at gmail.com.
Yeah, Conez and Doe. And also,
don't forget to include your height, eye colour, and hair colour, and sizes.
Yep, and address. And yeah, so, and also tell people to listen to this. If you enjoyed this, I don't know what's wrong with you. No, but if you enjoyed this first episode, I don't know what you're thinking and stuff, but this is this is Conez and this is Doe, and that's about all we can do is come on here and fucking have a little chat about fucking the things that matter to us. And so tell a friend to listen to it if you had a good laugh. I certainly had fun.
Fuck yeah, brother. It's been good. I'm glad we're back on this in the saddle. So this week, I believe, we got a song of my 2011 mixtape called Confusing Space Time by Snake Eyes. You can, if you search that and get it on, you can probably get it on Mediafire or some shit like that. There's a whole bunch of tracks. They're all remixed to pop songs and in weird ways, and yeah, check it out. It's pretty epic. But this one coming up is going to be Training Daze, and we can let you pick what song it's been remixed with. You should find out by the end anyway.
Yeah, the music's just to, I think, bring us back to reality after this the intense sort of psychic space in which we were debating. I like this track too.
Fuck yeah, cheers, buddy.
Well, I guess we better Eiffel Tower each other.
Yeah, man. Until next week.
Oh, watch out for terrorists underneath the Eiffel. It's been good. We'll try and get it more regular. Fucking yeah.
Cool, fucking, man.
Yeah.
Go shoot a cop and praise Allah. See you, Conez.
Test case. See ya.
The fight was scheduled, that was the first mistake. Gotta worry about who's getting hit and who's about to break you, dump your crowbar. Now you can prove what to do when someone waves a weapon at you. Jump kick, a couple of knuckle sandwiches and a headlock. You took one hit and now it's deadlocked. I come in with the kick to fuck the bitch and now there's bitches screaming. Situation soured out, smoking green with my team. Got some knots for us, fuck a car I'm steaming. Or maybe siphoning, I'm about as fresh as a seed. You can't eat me, remember the time you showed me how to roll with Genesis. Not music, the green premise and smoke prelude. I was one of two who understood you. Smoke religion, change the scripture. Undertaking a bike lane and then I slipped your point across at you vampires and crash your crypt. Come close to this and Christmas wishes unstitch your split. Straight Malibu runs through me. You're holding me together, peace to Mary for making mine steak and rhymes better. I'm cutting clean, slash a snake bite, no anti-venom. Enjoy your introduction cause your set has been severed. With the hiss, I piss you off, a rap a ring around you singing Irish jig about a beat down on the block, on the beat, downtown, stumbling with the shackles round your ankles, making finger paintings, mug shots, you lost your ounces. Pain and cuts, don't wanna cause a fuss, but seriously, they should've used cuffs. Even though he wasn't conscious, the short ride was enough to wake up, enough to psych up and get the brain state to play tough. Check it, he hears the latch on the back door. Now it's war, now it's on, bring it on and fucking smash my skull to capture huge hogs, jumping and rumbling. Slam down the chick pig but causes little pain. Fumbling, start legging, they draw weapons, the fun's ended. You're getting off, so you smile sweating. Leave round 11, plenty of D's on the trail, so you let them know you know P.O. Your host can fucking blow a goat, I know you don't. I'll choke your throat, you boast and toast. I praise the ghost and leave you posted. Blaze and get roasted, it's getting mad, sketchy slinging in the CBD. Your DSP is DSB, you rookie. Smoke a rock in the Parliament House in a cookie bag. What your pussy bad? You fully set? Your style's cramped, snake who constrict and add to your dramas. Alien farmers give it up when faced with bananas. If they don't, it's a real estate acquisition without permission, precise precision. When busting, fighting, shooting, jism, can solve rhythm. Pass my thoughts like a blunt, spread the word around. Dish my rhymes in bulk, cater for the party crowd. Pass my thoughts like a blunt, spread the word around. Dish my rhymes in bulk, cater for the party crowd. The repercussions will fuck you muppets, puppets on strings, you sucker. You puff it, you want a Dutch with the king, the prophets, or bustin' pop nuggets slinging in the wrong suburbs. You need cover, catch you fucking leave you with the bloody rubber. My stutter don't fuck up my words, this one fucks up your girls. I spin a twirl and Lincoln drilling more underground. The world don't know better. Drop the clutch, sped up when I bust you, float like feather. Snatch cream, you're fed up. Snatch cream, fed up, you must have been set up. My rhymes are toxic, the spit a spiker in your cup. I got the sick tongue drastic. The ladies go spastic, they breaking backs from the violent orgasmic. I kill a blow like a porno, deliver to your chin. Now it's internally rough shit, it's splinters from within. Catch a back kick, front on, you best run on. You're late, but what? Nah, come on, it's Snake. I don't fake when I'm freeing, but I don't do it often enough. I'm European, but I'm not a Ian. Snake, saver, slave, Tavians. Yeah, I'm Australian, but I'm a pain in your cadence. Begin your failing, no patience. Check my flow status, going hard and back like Josh Casper. If you had this page, you couldn't say it. Touch it, I might break it. Now you're in a body cast and you fucking still can't get signed. Come and see the best. NCRMF. Come and see the best. NCRMF. Collect and deck, respect, no contract required, motherfucker. I keep it clean to the finish. Calamity collabs, corrected Snake's constructive consciousness. But I punched through it, you just blew it. Snake who cock and strike can bleed your mind. Why? That's right, that's right. Hit you up down to the last buck with the grace and pace of a swinging nunchuck. I subtract from your plush, now divide your times, cause Snake's rhymes are prime.